Jeremy Affeldt was a big part of all three of those Giants World Series teams, rewatching some of that fun from 2014, the win over the Royals. And Jeremy is in Giants camp in uniform, joining us from what looks like a safe room at Scottsdale Stadium. Good morning, left-hander. Good to see you, Jeremy.
Hey, man, when you're out of the game this long, when you do interviews, they put you in a hallway. You don't get to have a special area, you know.
Tell us about what you're doing in camp. And I know that with your former teammate and your friend Buster Posey there have been a lot of familiar faces wearing uniforms again.
Yeah, that's what I think's been really awesome. I think with coming in, when I walked into the coach's office, you had Pablo Sandoval's locker, you had Joe Panik's here with me right now, Javi Lopez, Vogelsong, Scudero, Bonds was in here. I mean, they're just bringing a lot of guys back, and I think that's what Buster's trying to do, is trying to recreate a little bit of some culture with, hey, history is very, very important to winning, but also just being around the guys, bringing guys in to help create that family atmosphere, and Buster's done a great job. The vibe is incredible. Since I've been here, and I just asking around, just like, hey, what's it been from the years past? And even the players are just feeling, they just feel it's a little different now that Buster kind of has taken over.
Well, the interesting thing too, Jeremy, hey, good to see you, by the way, man. Been a long time, so great to see you, man. I want to ask you the teaching aspect and being able to add a little nugget here and there. So what did you learn in your years with the Giants and your foundational time that you would pass on to somebody today?
Yeah, I've talked to several guys. One of the things I've tried to bring in is, don't forget the bottom of the strike zone. Like, I know you always like throw 102 miles an hour, but the bottom of the strike zone is really, really, really important. It keeps the ball in the ballpark, and dealing with controllables and uncontrollables. One of the things in camp, even since I've been here, and they said it's kind of around the league, is some of the pitchers get frustrated on, shifting, and then they can't shift as much as they used to. But now they still get frustrated on shifts, and so some guys get caught up in that. And I've just kind of been here just talking to guys about, it's not a controllable on the shift. Like, focus on what your job is, and that's to throw quality strikes, keep the ball in the ballpark, and let your defense play. Other than that, don't worry about so much stuff. And they've got so much analytics and computers. I mean, the technology on these fields right now is almost overwhelming. And I'm just kind of talking to guys about learning how to pitch, knowing what you need to make in game adjustments, and what kind of mental focus you need to have. I'm not going to be pitchability. I mean, I didn't half the time know where the ball was going, to be honest with you. So I just tried to stay at the bottom of the strike zone and try to get guys to hit ground balls. So that's what I kind of focus on with guys. Keep it simple.
I thought it was interesting, too. You talked about pitch to the ballpark a little bit. So,
yeah.
Guys have to understand, what that's like to pitch in San Francisco. Is there a difference? We talk about it all the time, but you pitch there. Is it different to pitch in that park?
It's 100% different. And now because of how they've even kind of redid the scoreboard, it's actually shifted the wind a little bit even more. And they've shortened the ballpark since I was there. They brought it in a little bit, but it's still a tough ballpark to hit in. It's more manageable for some of these power guys. They can still kind of come in and they can poke it pretty good and get it out of the ballpark. But keeping the ball down and focusing, I love a sinker. I like a sinker in this age of the game of baseball. And if guys have it, utilize that sinker a lot more and just keep the ball on the ground. If the ball stays out of the air, the longer it stays out of the air, the better off you're going to be. And so that's kind of what I've been just talking to these bullpen guys about, is if you want to throw 100, throw 100, but try to learn how to throw 100 at the knee. You're going to be a lot better off.
Well, that's really
kind of what I've been talking.
Interesting shift too, Jeremy, because I think in the days of launch angle and that kind of hitting philosophy, a lot of pitchers lost sight of the bottom of the strike zone. Everybody thought you had to come up here to counter launch angle, and now we're learning about the return of the sinker as being a good weapon again in our sport.
I think it's anytime you get a hitter to try to only see the top of a baseball, there's really not much you can do with that. You hit the top of a baseball, you're not going to hit it in the air. And so I just been kind of getting guys to just focus on, man, pound that zone. Verlander pitched yesterday, and he put on a clinic. That guy, he pounded that strike zone from the get-go, and Oakland came out swinging early on him, which is surprising for Oakland, but he came out just pounding the strike zone and just going after guys. And that shows me, and I'm trying to tell these guys, like, look what this guy does, man. He throws it over the white part of the plate, goes after him, doesn't try to be too picky, and just dominated. I mean, it was a great clinic for these guys to see a 20-year veteran do what he did.
That's really cool. Hey, we don't have that much time with you, so I want to hit you on something we teased earlier. Your passion project, which has turned into a great deal of your post-playing life, your brewery, Free Roam Brewer. We talk about it a lot. Are you guys direct to consumer? Look at this, man. The Hop Scud. I mean, it feels like it's grown since we started talking to you about this a couple years ago, many years ago, actually. It's really taking off.
It's been fun. It's been a project for mine. I don't distribute outside that brewery, really. I want people coming to it. But it has been awesome. We have a great brewer. My wife is brilliant businesswoman, so she's been helping me out with it. But it's been great. And the hop scud actually is just because Buster told me one day, he said, you won't name a beer after one of your pitches, which is what made him a Gold Glover, I claim, because he had to block all my balls when I threw scuds. And I basically told him to hold my beer, and I said here, and then I created the hop scud. I said we're going to do it. So
that's great.
It's been great.
You talk about your wife being a business person. Apparently, she's a pretty good golfer too. We have an image here of a near.
Yeah.
Oh man, that almost happened.
It did. She was so excited. Well, our game got bumped up 2 hours yesterday, and so I lost my tee time at Troon North. And so I said, hey, I had to cancel the tee time. And she said, no, you have to cancel your tee time. And I was like, okay. So she went out, and then she almost hit a hole in one and sent me pictures. And I'm like, that's not doing me any favors, honey. I'm sweating my butt off out here on field 6. So, it's not helping me.
Do you miss pitching? Do you miss being out there, or does coming back into camp and putting a uniform on for a few weeks, does that satisfy that?
Right now, it satisfies. I actually said it to a few guys. I said, man, it just feels good to put a uniform on. I don't need to be out there on the mound. I don't need to be performing that way. Like, I just like being around the game and understanding and being able to talk to some of these young guys and just being able to put that uniform on that I was very thankful to represent for a very long time, and to come back in and try to help out where I can. That's enough. That's enough for me. I'm just glad I get to do it.
Hey, Jeremy, last thing. I'm starting to see this trend around baseball. I'm sure you're not just seeing the Giants camp. You're interacting with other clubs, but you're probably seeing former players from other teams. You're coming across them in a uniform and saying it's good to be back in it. I'm starting to see that happening in Major League Baseball now.
It's awesome, and because it has to happen. Like, I think that they were so worried about bringing some of us in because that whole analytical game was put into play, where they're thinking, well, these guys aren't going to really understand it. And it's not that we don't understand analytics. It's just we talk about it different. When they want to talk about spin rate and all this stuff, we just talk about finishing your pitch. You knew when you got good extension, finish your pitch, your ball jumped on hitters. Like, so that's how we said it. We just didn't have all the technology. So I think they were scared of that. But I think bringing some of these guys back in, just to encourage these guys and to let them know the game is really, really hard. So what you guys are doing is really, really hard, but you guys are built for it. You can do it. You can get it done. And sometimes you just need a simple approach, sometimes being talked to the guys. And that's kind of what we do, is we just bring in that different approach that we had.
Good stuff.
We love a chance to chat with you, man. Thanks for being with us as you do every year. Good to see you back in that orange and black again, dude. Way to go. Have fun down there. Hey, what a treat. We've got a little bit of time before the end of the show for a manager interview presented by Sage. Dave Roberts is about to get on the plane and head overseas with a new contract in hand.
Yeah.
Doc, congratulations on the new deal. Thanks for some time with us.
Oh, my gosh. Fellas, thank you so much. We got across the goal line, and I'm going to be in Dodger blue for another 5 years. And it's just crazy when you look at it, how long I've been here and what a great organization. And I'm thrilled for the players and, from all the guys coming up and congratulating me, giving me a big hug and talking to you guys. And there's no place I'd rather be.
Awesome.
So Dave, when did the extension talks start for you?
It started, I think, kind of in January. End of January, and I think it was one of those things that Andrew always said, that we're going to get it done and let's just lock in the players. And it was obviously a pretty busy offseason for the Dodgers, and so I think it was something that we knew was going to get done, and ultimately we made it happen.
So that's a long ways to come. My first thought was, I wonder what he made in A-ball. You remember when you were broadcasting in A-ball, Matt? What he made playing? What I made $600 a month.
You're on the bus going to Burlington or from Burlington or Kinston, wherever it was.
So I got it. So I signed first off, I signed in the 20th round as a senior at UCLA, and I signed for $1,000. And so I wasn't what they called a bonus baby. And then my first paycheck, I was in Jamestown, New York, in the Penn League with the Tigers, and net was $353 and some change.
Heck yeah, and you probably felt like you were living large, man. You could get whatever you wanted at Waffle House.
Oh, yeah, I don't even think in Jamestown back then, we weren't doing Waffle Houses back then. They didn't even have a Waffle House, so it was a little bit less than that.
Hey, let's talk about this trip, Doc.
Man. Come a long ways.
We were talking about this earlier in the show, that when the Dodgers went overseas to Sydney in 2014, everybody got these neat, like, Dodger sweatsuits. I remember seeing pictures of Vince Scully wearing the sweatsuit. Is that the one you're wearing on the plane? Is that what you got?
Oh, man. So, you know what? I think the Dodgers will take credit because Now teams are all rocking the sweatsuits when they travel, and they're not doing the three-piece suits that HR used to wear when he would go on road trips. But yeah, these are the ones, and then we got some blue ones on the way back from Tokyo. But these are nice, though, man.
Wow, different colors for the return and for both ends of the trip. You know, Harold is still looking for something he lost in the airport. If we could just call your attention to your screen, Doc. He went to Japan in '89 with a bunch of big leaguers. He's still looking for his sweatsuit.
But you know what, man? He still owned that. The glasses on top of the Jerry curl, the nice watch.
Yeah, buddy.
He had the stays, the collar stays there, so it was good. It was a nice iron suit still.
Hey, what about the itinerary? Can you share with us? Team dinners, is Shohei, is Yoshinobu taking you guys out? What's going to happen there socially?
So there's a Major League Baseball event. I know one of these nights because we're losing a day. There's a Dodger event when we get there. I think we have a workout when we get there. We get in at like 3 in the afternoon. So we'll have a little deal, then we go work out. But Shohei on Sunday, local Sunday, he, Yoshinobu, and Roki are hosting just the players, which is great. It's mandatory. And so just the players are going to be there, all 31 guys, and they're going to bring this crazy sushi chef and go to some dinner, and they're going to host it. So it's awesome, and the plus ones will kind of do their thing, and coaches and organization will do their thing. But it's going to be fun. It's a business trip for us, but I will say this publicly, guys. I went to Tokyo with my son Cole in January. It is one of the kindest, best places in the world, and I just really hope our players can pull from, how sincere the players are, or the people are. The culture's great, it's clean, it's safe, the food's amazing. It's just gonna be a great experience.
Doc, yeah, it's amazing in Japan. When I heard that you guys were going to Japan to play, and you just signed Shohei, I was like, can you imagine how crazy it's gonna be? I wanted to go, that's why I'm going. So you tell me.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you over there.
He's going as Stan Kasten's caddy.
If I had to, I would. So
hey, I'm his caddy as well, so yeah.
There you go. Hey, so how crazy will the scene be for Shohei?
You know what? I'll tell you right now, I've heard that it's going to be close to 1 million fans that are going to be greeting us when we get in at 3 p.m. local time. I know Shohei's not staying at our hotel, which is smart. I just can't imagine. I mean, you lived it with Michael Jordan. We've all seen Tiger. We didn't do it with the Beatles. Matty V, I want to make an old man joke, but you're like my age, so it's not the Beatles. But I just can't imagine, how it's going to be for Shohei, especially with the world of social media. It's going to be bananas. And I'm just, Clayton Kershaw is going, not active, flying on his own dime with his family because he just wants to see what this whole thing is going to be like. So this is kind of what we're heading into.
Oh, man, it's going to be a great experience for the team. I love the fact that we got different colored tracksuits there and back. Are you guys doing the blue light technology? Like, is everybody's plane going to have the blue lights in there so they can sleep? What else is going to be on that charter?
So I'm wearing compression socks as we speak. I got these tight pants. We've got these vitamins to help us sleep. We got the schedule. Everyone's got these blue light glasses that you wear. So we got it all dialed. And we had the one run of show last year in Seoul. And so now that it's only like a 10, 11-hour flight, so it should be pretty easy. Shohei, a little insight. I guess Shohei was telling Robert Van Scoyoc, our hitting coach, what he's going to do. So I guess Shohei was up local time at 1 a.m., staying up to then once he gets on the airplane today, to sleep the whole time. So then he is like up and frisky at 3 p.m. local time, right? And then so he can go and get on schedule in local time in Tokyo. So Robert was going to try it, so we'll see if he does it. But that's the inside Shohei Ohtani sleep schedule.
Good, I love it. A trained sleep clock. Doc, thanks for the time, man. Have a great trip. Congrats once again on the well-deserved deal, and we'll be watching on the 18th.
All right, fellas, take care, man. It's going to be one for the record books. It's going to be fun.